These people are afraid of you. They have a fear that you're going to catch up to them. See, people who are jealous and secretly competing with you, they always have a fear of catching up. They have a fear that other people are going to catch up to them. You see, when they thought that you settled for being mediocre, when they thought they were able to convince you to be basic and they weren't, these people get very envious and very jealous of the fact that you are catching up to them. See, you might not be competing with them, but they're surely competing with you. Because people who are often envious and jealous of the fact that other people are, quote, catching up to them, it's because they never saw you as a worthy opponent. They never saw you as competition. See, there are some people who look at other people as those that they can pity, those that they can feel bad for, those that really pose no threat to them. So thus, it boosts their ego. But when you start catching up to them in some way, suddenly you got a good job. Suddenly you got a nice car. Suddenly your wardrobe has changed. Suddenly you start looking better. Now they fear you're starting to catch up to them. See, jealous, envious people, they will love you as long as you're doing nothing with your life, as long as you're not really concerned with material things, as long as you're not really concerned with bettering yourself or obtaining anything that makes you different, they're okay with you. Envious, jealous people oftentimes like to associate with those who pose no threat to them. But when you start catching up, when you start elevating, when you start doing the same things that they're doing, or they perceive it as you're doing something they're doing but better, these people are afraid. They start to get scared of you. And out of their fear of you catching up to them, they start mistreating you. At one point, they used to treat you nicely, but now you're starting to catch up. You're starting to be their competition. You're starting to be on the same level they are, if not higher. And now they mistreat you. They don't even think about you the way they used to. They start talking down to you. They start withholding support. And people who get a fear of you catching up to them, they often think that somehow you are not, a worthy competitor for them. They look at you as if, you're nobody to them. And then suddenly you become somebody. Suddenly you become somebody that they don't recognize. You become that girl that's not just fading off into the background, but you're actually making an impact. You're actually doing things. People are looking at you and they're liking you, and they can't stand it. These people have a fear that you are catching up to them. They're very afraid of the fact that you may supersede them. They're competing with you even though you're not competing with them, and they cannot stand it. They can't stand the fact that you're no longer that girl that's broke. You're no longer worrying about money. You're no longer worrying about where you're going to lay your head because you have a beautiful, comfortable home. You're no longer that girl who's constantly complaining about relationship issues. You're being well taken care of and treated well. And now suddenly, especially what you will see with some women who get jealous and envious of other women, they suddenly start talking to you as if you're not that person they once knew. They start mistreating you because now you're being treated well. Some women only want to be friends or connect with women whom they can offer moral support to, but they're not willing to celebrate you. And this goes for men and women alike. And it's not that you're just looking to be celebrated all the time. The people who get afraid of the fact that you're catching up to them, they act like in order for you to be friends with them, or order for them to be friends with you, you can never do anything different. You can never do anything better. Many women have experienced being in so-called friendships with other women who treated you perfectly fine, included you in everything. They liked being around you up until you started to elevate in some way. It's that fear that you are catching up. I think about the time when B. Simone did that podcast, her and her friend was actually struggling, said she was on food stamps and all this other stuff for a time, and she offered her no support. But then she also spoke about the time that her friend was offered an opportunity and that she wished that she had a hand in it. And she felt some kind of way because her friend was not being put on because of her. She was actually doing something outside of her. That right there is the definition of somebody being jealous of the fact that you are catching up to them. This whole thing with jealousy and envy and the fear of catching up, this is real. You see, some women are a little naive to believe that people are going to treat you the same way once you start elevating. But when you're around people who have secret jealousy or envy towards you, or it's only a matter of time before they turn on you because they are threatened by the fact that you are doing something better, those people were never your support. And they begin to get very scared, and they begin to treat you treat you poorly. They begin to mistreat you simply because you are catching up to them. They'll love you as long as you're staying in the hood, you live in the projects. I'm not putting it down. I'm making a point. As long as you are not at a standard that other people admire, they're okay with you. But when you start catching up, they might have been used to being the one in the group where everybody was, complimenting them, talking about how beautiful their home is, talking about how beautiful their style is, talking about how blessed they are to have different opportunities. But now people are looking at you. It's not that your light is shining so bright that it's taking attention away from them, but that's how they're perceiving it. When people, especially jealous women toward other women, have that competitive spirit, that competitive nature that says there can only be one woman doing well, that I have to be the main one, it has to be all about me. When somebody else in their circle starts shining, they don't know how to receive it. And it's not anything you're doing, it's the way they're perceiving it. It's that fear that you are catching up to them. So when other people start seeing you also, and they're complimenting your beauty, they're complimenting your home, they're embracing your gifts and telling you how well you're doing, you will start to get the envious stares. You will start to get the stare downs from jealous, envious women, even some of those who might have called them your friends at one point. The moment you start doing better, don't be surprised if some of your so-called friends don't treat you the same way. Of course, this is not going to happen for all people in all situations. Some of us have very good friends, very good support systems where they can handle not being the only successful person, the only beautiful person, the only one that's getting the attention. But unfortunately, some people, especially other women, when they have a fear of you catching up to them, they start treating you so bad, they'll become like a person you never even knew. They'll suddenly start withholding their support. They'll suddenly start, not giving you the information you need, hoping they can get you to revert back to being mediocre. You see, these people who get afraid and they're fearful of the fact that you're catching up to them, they were hoping that you would settle into mediocre. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. They were hoping that you would settle for a basic life. And this is not to say that you have to be a millionaire. This is not to say that you have to be a woman that's doing, all these glamorous, whimsical things. You could be living a very basic life. But to a hater, somebody who sees you as somehow catching up to them, they'll get an issue with you simply because you are more confident, simply because you are more happy and fulfilled in your life. They're used to being the one who's always bragging about what they're doing, what they're buying, what they're about to do for their vacation. They're used to being the only one. And when you start catching up to them, here comes the mistreatment. They're leaving you out of situations. They're leaving you out the loop simply because they feel some kind of way because now you're on their level as they see it. They're competing with you. People who have a fear of other people catching up to them, they get jealous of the fact that you have opportunities available to you that weren't there before. They see that you are changing, that you are elevating, that by the grace of God, the way I see it, you are doing better in your life. These people will not be able to stand you because they wanted you to settle for being basic, settle for being mediocre, so that way they could be the only one getting the attention. And you will only see this when you are a woman who are around other women, especially if you have a lot of close girlfriends, if you have a lot of close female family members you're always around. And like I said, this is not all families, but many people have experienced, many women have experienced being around friends, being around other women who embrace them when they're broke. Embrace them when they are overweight and feeling bad about it. Embrace them when they're not feeling so confident. Embrace them when their man has cheated on them. Embrace them when their life is falling apart. But the moment your life gets better, that's the look they're giving you now. That envy stare, that disgruntled look, that sour lemon face look, that you disgust me look. And it's all because you're starting to catch up to them. It's all because now they're not the only cute one in the group. You lost the weight, you got toned up, you changed your style, you gained weight, whatever it might be. You're getting attention. People are starting to praise you. People are starting to look at you. You know, the more liked you are by other people, the more you will be hated on by jealous, envious people. The more you will see that those who once supported you, they're not supporting you because now, as they see it, you're on their same level when they never thought you would be. The fear of catching up is not something that many women, many people like to talk about, but it happens more often than you would like to think. You know, you see this, and a lot of women experience this, and they often try to figure out what's the problem. Like, we've been friends for years. You know, you're my favorite cousin. You're my favorite auntie. I'm your niece. You know, what's happened? You know, suddenly I feel like our relationship is different. Didn't you just move out the hood like 3 months ago? Okay. Didn't you start bringing around your friend from, you know, where you live now? Okay. Didn't you get a better job that allotted you opportunities? Okay. Aren't you more spiritually grounded? Because I don't want you all to think that this is just about material things. Didn't you get more spiritually grounded now? Like, your eyes are open to more things. Like, you're like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Wait a minute, I don't like that. Like, don't treat me that way. I'm not dumb. I don't like that. Any form of elevation will be seen as a threat to a person who is not accustomed to you being up here. They're not accustomed to you being on their level. And then people who think that they're the only ones and they looked at you, they had a fear of you catching up to them. It's not just with material things. It can be with your intellect. You have some people, and I have been in these kind of situations where you are around a bunch of women, a group of women who are very smart, very intellectual. You know, they know what they know, but you also know what you know. You have been in the field of whatever industry that you're in. You know, I used to be in finance. I used to be in banking, and being around other people who might have had more knowledge than me, but there were some women who recognized that even though I was in the branch and they might have been in the back office or whatever, there were still certain things that I was knowledgeable of that I could still carry that conversation, and they didn't like that. It's like, when did you stop being new? Like, you're the new girl. Like, I'm used to correcting you. I'm used to telling you. And it showed up in the way they spoke to me when I said certain things. If I correct them, or if I was more, inquisitive about different things, it's like, okay, why do you even care about that? Like, that has nothing to do with you. It's like, they get very threatened by the fact that you are playing on the same field, the same level that they are. It's like they didn't expect that from you. The fear that you are catching up. And with women, it doesn't even have to be that deep. You know, with women, sometimes it can be very petty things, very superficial, shallow things. You know, your wig game could have changed, where now you're not just getting synthetic, which I love synthetic, by the way. Looks more natural. Little sidebar. You could have elevated your wig game to where now it's not just synthetic. You're getting human hair. You're actually going all out and spending on the really good wigs or whatever. And a woman who is accustomed to you not really getting that type of stuff, because she gets those kind of things and she expects that, you know, it's just about her. You know, you wouldn't dare do what I do because you can't. And when you can, not because of her, but you just elevate your style. You know, you're doing it. You're looking good. It's like, okay, who do you think you are? Or when they have a fear of you catching up, they start trying to do that reverse psychology on you, where they try to make you think like, are you sure you want to get that? Because I know, like, this is the style I have. I wear it, but I don't really think that suits you. When it suits you perfectly fine, it accentuates your face, it accentuates your body, whatever it is, it's working well for you. And they know that. That's why they're trying to get you to think that it's not working. It's that reverse psychology. Like, are you sure? Like, that's not really, it's a nice look. I just don't think it's for you. That's where your confidence has to come in. But I digress. These people have a fear that you are catching up to them. They were hoping that you would settle for being mediocre. They were hoping that you would stay that girl who's okay with just fading off into the background. And it's not that you are seeking attention. What happens with a woman, and when you start so-called catching up to other people and they start hating you because of it, they start getting envious and jealous because of it, what happens is that they dislike you simply because your confidence has elevated. When you are not a woman that fades into the background and you start getting more attention, whether it be on your looks, whether it be on your intellect, what you're doing, what have you, it's because your confidence and maybe your faith and the way you just feel about your life and your outlook has changed. That's what's drawing attention to you. It doesn't have to be anything that you're actively doing. As I've said before, women who operate in their queen energy, you're not desperate for, other people's validation. You're not desperate for other people's attention. It just happens because of the woman you're being. And when people start seeing you, especially envious women, envious people in general, they see you start operating from a more confident place. When they see that, okay, she's catching up to me. She's no longer afraid of other people's opinions. She's no longer afraid to try different things. That fear of catching up, that you're catching up to them, it absolutely destroys their ego because they're not used to seeing you in that light. And that's their problem. If you're around people who only like you when you're down and out, down and depressed, and they suddenly start having a fear that you're going to catch up to them, so they try to say and do little things to get you to kind of pull back from what you're doing, those are not the people you want to be around. People who only like you when you are down are not your people. These people have a fear that you are catching up to them, that you are about to be on their level, and they start competing with you. They start mistreating you, and they just generally start not to like you because they never saw you in that light. They never saw you as, they say, the top dog. I don't like referring to women as that, but it's a saying. They never saw you as the boss lady. They never saw you as, the girl who accomplishes these great things. They never saw you as astute. They never saw you as spiritual. You're catching up. They thought they would be the only one. And what they're doing might not be anything remotely close to what you are doing. But people who have a fear of other people catching up to them, any sign of elevation in you will be perceived as a threat. And then what you'll see from them is they start trying harder and they start doing different things that don't even line up with the person they really are, but they're secretly competing. And when it comes to those kind of things, and I'll leave you with this, as women, you have to get laser focused on yourself. You can see the tomfoolery and the things they're trying to do, but the less you're around those people, the less you will really notice these things. These are things you will notice if you're already in a relationship with them in some capacity. If you're a friend and you just see the change up, you see how they start getting threatened by the fact that you are supposedly catching up to them, how they're suddenly mistreating you. Just remove yourself. Don't be around people who make everything a competition unless you stay mediocre or basic. That's a no from me. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.